Welcome back to the Morning Brew. Larry Ahrens along with guest co-host Matt Gentry.
Thank you, sir.
There he is. Pleasure to welcome to our show Carolyn Meyer. Carolyn is her day job. She's a children's book author.
Right.
And you've turned into a film documentarian.
Well,
Kinda.
no, I'm just a booster of the documentarians.
Good, good. You got wind of the Harvey girls' history, and this documentary was all about the Harvey girls.
That's right.
Talk about who the Harvey girls were and what they did.
They were young women most of them came from the Midwest, some from the East Coast, and they were recruited by the Fred Harvey Company to become waitresses in what became a huge chain of hotels and restaurants stretching from Chicago to California as the railroad progressed west. Fred Harvey was an entrepreneur. He traveled a lot. He thought the food along the road was terrible and he was going to fix it. And he began opening these very nice, we would call them high-end restaurants in railroad depots. At first he had men as waiters. Well, they were a rowdy bunch and they began having troubles with them.
Yeah.
And so somebody suggested to Fred, why don't you hire girls? Well, that presented all kinds of problems because what are we going to do with all these young women? They set them up in dormitories with house mothers. They dressed them like nuns or pilgrims in very formal black and white uniforms. They had very strict rules and they trained them to a fairly well. 100,000 of them came through that system, many of them in New Mexico, and
Yes.
that's where I got fascinated by them.
So this is a documentary, but are we going to be able to see like stories of the
Yes.
individual
Yes.
stories?
Yes.
That's really cool.
The documentary is called The Harvey Girls Opportunity Bound, and it was made by a young filmmaker from the West Coast named Katrina Parks. I was doing research on a book about the Harvey Girls, and I stumbled on this film, which was having its premiere in Belen, for goodness sake.
It's a booming metropolis. Just
Yes.
so you know.
Well, it was one of a number of premieres, wherever it was shown for the first time locally. It's been on PBS as well. And I went down to Belen to see the film, and somebody said, why aren't we doing one in Albuquerque at the Chemo?
Yes.
With the old Alvarado there as that much mourned,
Yes.
iconic palace hotel that once existed and doesn't anymore.
Now, that was a Harvey house.
That was one of the jewels in the crown of the Harvey house.
Also at the airport, didn't they have?
Yes,
Harvey
that
girls
was a
at
later
the,
one.
the,
La Fonda. La Fonda and Santa Fe.
I've been to the La Fonda Hotel in Winslow, Arizona,
Oh, isn't
which
that-
they still carry on the tradition. The girls still wear
yes.
the pinafores and and the turquoise.
Well,
dining room.
that was a huge renovation project, and the same people who did that are now going to do the one at La Castañeda in Las Vegas.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so it's a great
Nevada or New Mexico?
Oh, please. Keep it local.
First time I was in New Mexico, I was traveling up north and I saw the sign that said Las Vegas 60 miles and I said,
Wow.
somebody messed up
Yeah.
because it's a lot farther than 60 miles thinking Nevada. I didn't know.
What was unique about the Harvey girls is that they were hired, they were brought in, they stayed there, they were trained.
Yeah.
And many of these women got life skills that they couldn't have gotten elsewhere.
And it was a chance for independence to get away from their families.
Yes.
Many of them stayed in the area, married local men, ranchers, and so on, and they brought civilization to the West. They
Classed it up a little bit, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
What was the average age of these
They
girls?
advertised for 18 to 30.
But-
But many girls snuck in,
Yeah.
a little bit younger than that. They faked daddy's signature and got the job.
Now, there's still a lot of Harvey girls, former Harvey girls around, aren't
Not
there?
a lot, a few.
Few.
A few.
And there's a great picture documentary of all of this. I mean, there's a lot of photos and a lot of memorabilia about these days.
Yes. The documentary that will be shown at the Chemo.
Right.
And we do have to mention that.
Yes, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, November 22nd. That's a week from Saturday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And the Katrina Parks will not be here, but some of the others who worked on the film, the producer and the narrator and the film editor will be here. And I think I've got a couple of Harvey girls coming out of retirement for this event. I hope so.
Be here.
Yeah, they'll be here too.
Oh, that's wonderful. And it's a film, there's Q&A, there's all of the things that go with it.
Yes, the film lasts about an hour, and then maybe a half hour of Q&A, and then the Artichoke Cafe is putting a little tea over in the gallery.
Oh, nice.
It's a free event.
Free event. Come out and see this. It really is an important part of the growth of the Southwest and particularly New Mexico.
New Mexico and Albuquerque, yes.
Where were the, do you have any idea, where were the other Harvey locations in the state? The Alvarado, there was the airport later on.
Okay.
I can't think of.
There was La Fonda. There were a couple down in the south. Oh, Belen. Belen had a Harvey house. Yeah. In fact, that's a museum, a Harvey House museum today. And lots of interesting memorabilia there. There were two in Las Vegas. One is the old Montezuma, which is now the World College.
Yes, the castle.
It had a fascinating history of burning down 4 times. But
the Harvey girls are one thing, but the food in these places was really good. And
really good,
it was a great place to go.
Yes.
In
to
the
see
day.
and be seen, yeah.
Yeah, it was quite a place to hang out. This is fascinating. All right, so it's a documentary. It's called The Harvey Girls, Opportunity Bound. There's some wonderful pictures, and you can see the whole film on the 22nd, 3 in the afternoon at the Chemo Theater.
That's right.
Thanks for bringing it to town.
Oh, thank you for having me here today.
Very good. Carolyn Meyer, author and film promoter now with us today. If you want to know more about Carolyn, there's her website. Okay, we have more to come on the Morning Brew. Thank you, Carolyn, for being here. We'll be back in just a moment. There's more. Matt and I will get more coffee and see you over on the couch right after this.